can only move forward when it sticks his fucking neck out. And I can see by the looks on your face, none of you have even thought of that yet. As you have not been able to get out of your comfort zone successfully. In the few times that you've gone outside your comfort zone, you failed. In all my life, all I do is think out of my comfort zone. What did you think? That they just come with wheelbarrows and they give you the money? When you gotta swallow the whole motherfucker. But you don't. In 4 words, just fucking do it. For those of you that have parents, do you want your kids to wind up just like you? Oh, to God, you don't say yes. Because that's what's going to happen. Is that what you want for them? Your definition of wealth will be their definition of wealth. Your definition of risk reward is going to be their definition of risk reward. And you're so fucking great, you know, a turtle can only move forward when it sticks its fucking neck out and its limbs out. And then what happens? They're the most vulnerable, aren't they? So how do you spend your whole life? You spend with your neck in and your legs, your limbs in, and don't take any risk. You never step outside your comfort zone. Remember, the board, when you're picking your board, starting with the chairman, they are going to be a reflection of you, your vision. The vision starts at the top. And if you pick, remember I said, the challenge is you're going to pick people that you feel comfortable with, which is wrong. This program teaches you to be comfortable being uncomfortable 100% of the time. When you wake up in the morning to the time you go to sleep, being uncomfortable, getting outside your comfort zone. The reason that you're here in your situation of life today, and the same reason that the kids on the YouTube are, is you have not been able to get out of your comfort zone successfully. And the few times that you've gone outside your comfort zone, you failed. And nobody likes failure. And I said, I could have written a book in 4 words, just fucking do it. But you don't. Or you think it's like a Chinese menu. And I'll take a little Sichuan this, and I'll take a little this, and take a little that, when you gotta swallow the whole motherfucker. Because you do things within your comfort zone. And all my life, all I do is things out of my comfort zone. I'm comfortable being uncomfortable. My status quo now is discomfort, 365 days a year. I walk by my cars outside. Now when I look at those 3 cars, I don't see anything. I don't see $1.5 million worth of cars. Because I've been driving Rolls Royces since 1971. I'm 25 and a half years old. When our kids come to this house, they don't see but a house. They don't see a manicured estate that costs, $100 grand a month, more or less, to keep. That's their comfort zone. That's their comfort zone. Most of you have not made changes here before today because you've been reasonably comfortable. Now, your comfort zone and my comfort zone are on 2 different planets, okay? So, but, if you're able to feed your family, drive a decent car if you drive, go on, a holiday yearly. I knew kids in my neighborhood, they went on a holiday every 3 years. It just made me think, I haven't thought of this in years and years and years. Every 3 years, they saved up for 2 years so they could go on holiday. But you're comfortable. You're comfortable. And now the kids coming out, I didn't believe that student debt was a big problem until the last 4 or 5 years when I see the kind of debt a lot of kids come away from being students. People in their 40s still paying off fucking student debt. And that's a big problem. But once you get out of your comfort zone and you learn to push yourself out of your comfort zone, making your first cold call, except for a couple of you that have been involved in sales, won't be easy. I had a really polished sales guy several years ago, polished insurance salesman, and they're pretty well trained. And his wife told me later, Robert sat and looked at the phone for 35 minutes. Just looked at it. And then finally she said, pick up the phone, you cunt. I'm going to call Mr. Pena. And this is a polished sales guy. But he's selling something new, you know. He's not selling a whole life, $100,000, whole life insurance policy. And you heard the student, the young student, the first webinar you listened to, he says, I shook and, I was nervous. Even the best sales guy in the room will be nervous the first time you make an absolute new sales pitch the first time. You don't have to know anything. It's one of the hardest things for you guys to accept for 27 and a half years, that when I got into the oil business, I used to say proudly, I didn't know enough to put on the head of a pin. Now, 30-some years later, I am an oil guy. I'm a forever oil guy. I really understand more about mining and coal mining than I do oil, but nobody ever asked me any questions about coal mining. I don't think I've been asked 2 questions in 30 years about coal mining. But I don't know anything. Well, I didn't know anything. And some of you will already in the one-on-ones I've had are gravitating towards something what's in your comfort zone that you know something about, i.e. there's a few of you in IT. And so you think maybe cybersecurity but cybersecurity is harder than bedpans to roll out. There's no comparison. There's no comparison. And part of the reason that bedpans sell at low multiples is because there's no barrier to entry. 0. You can go buy a fourplex and put 2 people in each bedroom, and you're in business. If you're not going to be in a licensing mode with substance abuse, etc., you're in business. There's few regulations. Anybody can start it. And people die in the business. And what you're really in the business of when you're doing assisted living is you're replacing the people that die as quickly as humanly possible. We've had people start bedpans and flipped out of it because they couldn't stand the death. That's understandable. But all you guys that are willy-nilly want to do bedpans, you better get used to doing 2 things. In the beginning, wiping shit from old people's asses and death. And I can see by the looks on your face, none of you have even thought of that yet. All you thought about is a 35% margin. And a few of you in this room, I just don't see, I've only changed 1 diaper in my life, so I'm not an expert, that you wipe the old git's ass. Now it's a toss-up. What is most distasteful to you? Wiping the old git's ass or, he passed away last night. Roll them out. There should be a morgue associated with every assisted living. Normally, it's not a morgue where they keep it going. It's just an extra room that they pile the dead bodies in. I can see some of you aren't going into bedpans now. What did you think? That they just come with wheelbarrows and they give you the money? Apparently so. There's a downside to every model. Here I am standing in our pavilion in front of our newly constructed boxing ring, where we just a couple days ago had our first installment of the Guthrie Castle Experience boxing pugilism to illustrate people getting out of their comfort zone. We're going to show some pictures. It's already been online, but the fear in the eyes of some of the kids, yet they still force themselves to get in there and get the shit knocked out of them by some others. But this is a perfect metaphor that that which does not kill me makes me stronger. Since cold calling and getting out of your comfort zone is one of the pillars
of the QLA system. This is a great experience, and we will do it in the future from now on.